made it to Kansas. It's been a couple days worth of traveling from Bozeman. Some bad weather, bad roads. Took me a little longer than I wanted, but I'm here and ready to start this whitetail adventure. After hunting Ohio with Nick last year, we decided we wanted to try something in Kansas, and rather than do a fully guided, outfitted, 5-7 day hunt, I reached out to an outfitter friend of mine, Larry Ellis, and came up with a sublease opportunity. So we're doing that. Neither Nick or I have ever set foot on any of his properties, but it's in big buck country. I've known Larry for a lot of years. He knows big whitetails, and he's got some good properties, so I'm anxious to get there and start scouting around. Unfortunately, my dad's not able to start the hunt with me. I kind of hope so, but he's been having a few health problems, and he's up in Minnesota at the Mayo Clinic. So he's up there until Halloween. Drive down on Halloween and probably get in either that night or the next day. But anyway, it'll give me a chance to scout around the properties, figure out a couple of good spots, get set up. Looking forward to just spending some time with him. It's been a couple of years since we've done a hunt like this, and as he gets older, these times are getting more and more precious. So see what happens. It's still hunting. These are big, smart whitetails, and no guarantees.
What's up?
He's here.
I'm here.
How are you, bud?
What's happening, man?
Good to
long
see you.
Time.
It has been.
Yeah,
Too long.
Time. Yeah.
You guys get unloaded and stuff. He's going to take us and show us a farm or two quick.
Okay.
We'll be able to come back, and he's thinking we can set tomorrow.
Oh, heck yeah.
So I'll show you around, and let's get unloaded, and we'll go.
It's kind of cool. I didn't draw a Kansas tag this year, but I still get to hunt Kansas.
I know it. I know it. Set in this afternoon, but we're going to get in there for hour and a half or so. Just kind of get our bearings. It's raining out, turning to snow some point. When we were out getting our tour, we saw some deer on their feet already at like 2 o'clock. So maybe they're going to be out feeding a little bit before this front really hits. Good morning.
Is that you, Willi?
Tis me.
This place is legit.
Yeah. Did you go in?
Yeah.
Cool timing.
What's
How
up,
are you,
brother?
bud?
Good to see you. So, what happened tonight?
And it was getting that low light, and all of a sudden I look up and another buck was coming in. This buck, even though he was smaller, was much more aggressive. And then he went over to that buck and bristled up and tried to keep him away from the corn for a while. And then it got so dark we lost light. But it's like we saw a little bit of pre-chasing. We saw an aggressive buck who came into the decoy.
Yeah.
So, and now we've got, I think, some really good options. And if you find one that you like, I think as it turns on, stick to it.
Yeah. Okay.
So it was,
Heck yeah.
didn't see any, giant bucks. I'm anxious to see what Larry saw on some of the cameras because he pulled
some cards.
all of those and swapped them out.
Sweet.
So.
Welcome to Kansas. This trip is, I believe, what most bow hunters dream of. It's brand new ground for us. A chance to move around. Chance to look at the maps and figure it out. We've really done no scouting until we got here. So we're excited to test our knowledge and see if we can't get on a big old buck. But camp seems awesome. We love hunting with Willie. So cross our fingers, this week's going to be a good week for us. We're sitting in the blind this morning. Probably going to be in a tree this afternoon. We're just jacked up to be here. Beautiful.
I'm trying to decipher if these two are the same.
After a quick lunch and checking some trail camera cards, we hopped in the truck so I could show Nick a different property. Nick loved it and ultimately hunted that farm exclusively for the rest of his hunt.
It's not like they're going to food because there's no food around here.
Yeah. No, I told him with the stand I'm just going to carry that in today, and then maybe tomorrow or the next day if we go back in there, we'll bring it. I'll leave the stand in there.
That's a really
Good.
Yeah,
How are you?
good.
You have any problem finding it?
Pardon?
Any problem finding it?
No, I just
Good.
GPS'd it, came right here.
Good.
Yeah,
When'd you get here?
6:15-ish,
Okay.
like that.
Beat dark?
It was still light.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Met Darren?
Oh, yeah. We've been chatting
Met Nick?
for quite a while, Nick. Yeah.
How was your night?
Pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah. $4. Nothing shootable, but I mean, nothing of size to shoot.
Okay.
I could have shot every one of the bucks.
Really?
You know,
Were they just coming in, or did you rattle them in, or grunt them in, or?
running that, cutting right across there. The bucks, the biggest one, I say the biggest, he was 7-pointer, got some age, he came right underneath their stand. I mean, like, he was probably 6-7 yards from us.
What was it?
That 7-pointer, he was just, maybe this one above the vent there.
Yeah.
You know, like a tight little frame like that with some mass, not that much mass, not that big, but, you know, just a cool little deer. And he was underneath the stand, you know, neck curling at the does and stuff, and he was almost.
So you had does under you and everything? You saw some.
No, I could have shot one doe the whole night. All the does were off to my right across that little ditch.
Well, it's been a quiet morning this morning, unfortunately. We've got a little different wind than we've had. It's a northeast wind. It's supposed to be that way all day, and there's only a couple sets that are set up for it, this being one. We're going to go get another one set up midday. We only had 2 does that have come by this morning. I've tried some grunts and a rattling sequence. Was able to call up these 3 cows, but so far that's the only response. I know it's still a matter of time, but when these lulls happen, you kind of wonder what's going on. Maybe there's a hot doe somewhere and most of the deer are kind of hanging around there. But you can still expect to see a few more cruisers this time of year, but that kind of goes along with hunting. You got some great days and you just come out one of those magical evenings, and other times, like last night, I did not see a deer. And so far, just 2 does. come in. He's kind of a cool deer, just off the fence. Came by, just came through a window, and I was like, holy cow, first thing you see is a big white rack. I think he's young, he's a cool deer, he's got some mass, but he's just a 4x3. But late morning movement. It's what you kind of hope for this time of year. But they've kind of had their heads on a swivel, and they were looking down to our right. And sure enough, that's where he came in from. So maybe we'll just sit here for a little bit longer and see what happens. But it's fun to see that deer on the hoof in the daylight, not just on trail cam. Nick saw him and said what a cool deer he was. If he was another year older, he might consider doing it. It's not about score, because he's not going to score for crap, but it's a cool character pop for sure.
The ground blind sits below it in that bottom, and there's a pretty good, probably about an acre food plot with some corn in the middle of it, and they funnel through these draws down to there, and of course from below up, and that's where we sat the first night and the first morning.
I've seen a lot of country, a lot of deer country in my life, and this is as good as any. So I think we're positioned. The wind's a little not desirable. I mean, it'd be better if it was coming, hitting us in the face, but they could come from a lot of different directions and not smell us. So I think we're sitting in a pretty good position.
Sixth or something, and take
So that was a 6 point?
7 point.
7 point.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Was that the same one that you seen before? Willie passed him up.
Yeah.
I didn't.
John, I figured you let him have it. Right.
Well, he came in pretty early, just before 4:30.
Following those does.
Yeah.
Hey, that was a good job.
Thanks.
Good job.
We'll see.
We'll see.
But I think it was a good job. I think it did its job. I think we'll find a dead deer here within 100 yards. Thanks for your help. That's not the rack. The rack's kind of like this.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
That's awesome. That is awesome. As Darren and I were talking about, you've hunted a long, long time and certainly killed a hell of a lot bigger deer than this, but it's more about the experience, and if your heart goes pitter-patter, he's coming in. And
Right.
My dad has taught me so much throughout my life, but on this hunt, he taught me how much of a fighter he was. Coming on this hunt even when he wasn't feeling great. He also reinforced what he has taught me for years, that hunting is about the entire experience, who you're with, and the time outdoors, not about the quality of the trophy. I knew this hunt was special while we were together. I just didn't realize how special it would become, or that it would in fact be the last hunt we would ever share.